probably up to 5 in the Apollo program itself.
Astronaut Walter Cunningham in the Apollo command capsule.
Now, 3 men will go.
That's right.
What will their particular roles be?
Well, it isn't really completely spelled out now, but we will have 3 men in the command module, and their duties essentially will consist of probably the seat that you're lying in will be the spacecraft commander. What he's called is not yet determined, but he will be probably in overall charge of the crew. His job will be associated primarily with flying. The seat that's missing would contain probably the man whose job would be to do all the navigation. Among other things, one of his primary jobs would be to get down here to the lower equipment bay and at the navigation station and make navigation sightings and do all of our telescope work, sextant and telescope work. The seat over here on the right, because of the arrangement of the instrument panel, we have most of the systems management functions sitting on the right. So we have fuel cells for electric power, you have environmental control system, the main communication system switches. All of those functions are tried to be located over here. So we kind of have a systems engineer, a navigator, and a spacecraft commander.
Now, can you describe the steps by which you prepare to descend to the moon's surface?
Very briefly, it consists of, after you have inserted into a lunar orbit 60 to 80 nautical miles above the surface, 2 men will climb into the lunar excursion module through this tunnel. After launch, we will have reoriented our spacecraft and reconfigured it so that the lunar excursion module is now up at the top end. 2 men will climb in, they'll check out the vehicle. If everything's fine, they'll separate from the command module. They will then make a burn of the descent engine, transfer into an elliptical orbit above the lunar surface of about 50,000 feet. After making at least 1 revolution like this, probably, they will then make a descent burn down to about 300 to 400 feet above the lunar surface.
Will you be disappointed if you're the guy left in this module?
You're right, I will be disappointed if I'm left in this module. On the other hand, there will be some consolation in having made the first lunar trip at any rate.
Yeah.
And it would be a lot of time to name the craters on the backside of the moon, you know, Cunningham number 1, Cunningham number 2.
What will it be like?
What will it be like?
Yeah, let's have a guess.
I think we need somebody with a little ESP as far as what it'll be like. But I think we got a pretty good notion of what the surface will or could be like from the Russian pictures that we saw very recently.
Are you confident that it will bear the weight of the LEM?
If I wasn't confident, I wouldn't be here making the trip.
Did you personally ever believe in this dust theory, that the moon was covered with a thick layer of dust?
It's not what we think of as dust here on the Earth, and I have always felt like we have a lot of small particles near the surface of the moon, but I've also kind of intuitively felt like it would support structure. It will be a lunar day, or in the sunshine side of the moon when we land.
How will the lack of atmosphere affect the appearance of things?
I would imagine that on the original landing there will be some kind of a problem with depth perception. You don't have anything to scale it to. If you've seen some of the studies that they've done on the photometric function for the moon and shown how shadows work, it isn't quite as expected here. For instance, it isn't always sure that the what side of a crater that you expect to be dark is the one that's dark. One of the earliest returns scientifically from the trip will be the geological specimens which we pick up.
What will the temperature be?
I have indicated that we will land on the sunny side. The temperature will be pretty close to 100 degrees centigrade.
Who will control the countdown for the return takeoff?
I'm sure that we will have some kind of time hacks or time synchronization with the manned spaceflight network here on Earth, but we will be conducting our own countdown. That's fairly interesting when you consider it takes thousands of people and weeks here on the surface.
Good luck to you.
We have 20 minutes and 2 men to hit an on-time liftoff. It's not so much feeling a special race apart. I feel like I am living very, very fully. And as a matter of fact, speaking very personally, for the first time in my life, I really feel like I am doing something that I was cut out for. I've never felt more comfortable in a job in my life.